Hello, everybody, and welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina for the next game here at the Immaculate Training 2016 Pro Exposure Camp. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports, and we are here underway taking in Team China in the white against Team Estonia in the blue. Those teams are just names assigned to them for the day for today's Pro Exposure Camp, and we will get you caught up on everybody's roster numbers and all that great stuff as we go along. Still 0-0 earlier, 18-minute halves. We do not have stoppages of play for out of bounds like you just saw. However, there are stoppages of play for fouls, or at least that's been the case so far. Stoppages of play for fouls and timeouts. And it's a fluid situation, so we do our best to keep our on-screen scoreboard in sync with the scoreboard in the gym. Ball rims out and no good for DeAndre Pratt, number 76, and now going the other way. Blue up over the top, still no scores. The battle inside. And both teams looking for their first early bucket here. Shot no good by Iman Johnson, who's played well at this exposure camp. Drive, kick to the outside, deep shot. That looked like it was inside the three-point line. But that's going to be the first bucket of the day. And you can see the three-point line is actually marked on the floor. That dotted line is close to the international. And now we've got our first three ball of the day for sure. And both teams now in the scoring column. 1 point lead now for White. Ball thrown away, picked up. Scramble, dive on the floor. And that is either going to be a foul or an over and back. I would think not an over and back, but it looks like it's going to go over to White. The number 74, Iman Johnson, to inbound. Herbert Graham feeds it inside. Ball knocked away. That's over everything, and it's going to stay White. So coming to you from Hickory Ridge High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, putback dunk is good by DeAndre Pratt. Jansen Carter with the ball now gives it up. He got that ball over to Nicholas Crawford, now inside the foul, or they're going to have the ball thrown in under the basket. A lot of international scouts here today, and this is the second or third year that the camp has been held here in Charlotte, and then a lot of these guys will go to play overseas and have played overseas. Big block there by Johnson, but they're saying they're going to give him the bucket, I think. So that's the other thing is sometimes there'll be an and one situation. Sometimes there'll be a automatic count. In previous games, we saw a lot of times guys will go to the line and shoot 1 for 2. So 1 free throw for 2 points, or 1 free throw for 3 points if he was fouled in the act of shooting a three-pointer. So that can be a factor later on. Shot on the outside, good. And White continuing to hold the early lead here. Shot off the side of the rim, no good. White with the breakout. DeAndre Pratt now with the ball. He shoveled that back to Jalen Brown. And they work it around. Inside and finished by Iman Johnson. Here's Johnson again on the break. Kicks outside, fake, back inside to Johnson. He's deep under the basket. Looks like he wants to post up. Up over the top, too strong. Tough defense on the inside there. Now going the other way. Blue, look ahead pass up and finish. We've got another turnover, and now a quick switch on the floor. Corey Randall goes to the line for White. Goes to the bench. Timothy Haggie, 47, with the ball, running the point. Looking for a little pick and roll inside to Julius Brooks, but didn't materialize. Nice reverse and good, and that's going to be an and one. So about a little bit of over 11 minutes left in this first half. Haven't had a ton of stoppages, but of course there's no clock stoppage, so even when the ball rolls out or whatever, fouls and stuff like that, nothing slows down the pace of the game. Now we see Corey Rayleigh Ross in the game. Rayleigh Ross now defending against Herbert Graham. Herbert Graham feeds it inside to Amon Johnson. Johnson turns, faces up. Tried to save that ball and it went out. We're going the other way. Feed inside to Julius Brooks. Brooks with the hook. Good. That's the first basket of the game for Julius Brooks, the 6'9" big man. Power forward. He's played internationally quite a bit in the past 2 or 3 years. Feed inside to Rayleigh Ross, big block. They're going to call that foul, and good, or they'll call it good. 12 all now with 9:33 left to play. And just like that, White pushes it back out to 3. That one dribbled off an opponent's foot, but collected by Jalen Brown, and we're still going. White back. Here's Corey Randall. Drive, stutter step, hesitation inside, and block. That three-pointer ties it up. 15 all now. 8:45 roughly to play here in the first. Outside, no good for Jalen Brown. Not sure if that's going to be a shooting foul. We may have our first free throw shot of the day, and it's going to be DeAndre Pratt at the line, number 76. Pratt, the 6'3" perimeter player, forward. I guess wing would be more accurate. And that shot drops through for 2. Now that's going to give him 2. As I said, it's a 2-for-1 situation. We've got a timeout on the floor. So you're watching the 2016 Immaculate Training Pro Exposure Camp here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports. And you can follow us on Twitter at Netcast Sports. You can watch these and all the games on demand on netcastsports.com. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up for you this summer, including the IWFL football, the Triad Pro-Am Summer League, basketball. We've got more minor league basketball coming up in the coming season. We've got more football and lots of good stuff on tap for you guys. So check out netcastsports.com. Oh, really close to a walk there, and I think he was fortunate he got the bailout call. He got knocked off the ball, or knocked off his pivot foot. Johnson wants to drive, goes right. Defense is there. Corey Rayleigh-Ross makes a good adjustment. Now Johnson wants to go left, and that's going to be an offensive foul. So good defensive footwork by Corey Rayleigh-Ross. Number 58. So we got a foul. Is that before the shot? Julius Brooks re-enters the game for blue. Battle inside. No good. Rebounded by Iman Johnson. He's going to keep it. Goes right, then left. And there's a foul a long way away from the basket. Johnson leaves. Corey Randall running the point now. 5'10" guard, gives it up to Jalen Brown, the 6'9" forward. Back over to Randall. Looks like he wanted to go inside, but there was nobody inside there. Paint was wide open. No offensive player cutting through. That shot contested, no good. Rebounded by Julius Brooks. Brooks decides to keep it. Dribble almost got away from him, but he was able to handle it and pass it up court. Now here's Corey Rayleigh-Ross calling for the pick. Brooks comes up. And Rayleigh-Ross drops that one through, and that ties the game. So just under 6 minutes now. That took a lot of willpower to get that one in for Corey Rayleigh-Ross, as he just laid that one in, and it just sort of took extra kinetic energy to get through. Nice looking stroke there. Deep outside shot is good. So White led much of the first half, but now Blue has come back. They led momentarily, and now the game is tied once again, 19 all. Brooks, double team on the inside, gives it up to Timothy Haggie. Haggie drives, kicks it outside. Ball worked around to the far corner, and that is good. I'm waiting to see if they give him a 2 or 3. So far it's a 2. And he adjusted that to a 3. And now that last transition bucket pushes that lead out just a little bit more. Clock continues to run. except for the single timeout here in the first half, and one free throw, we've had, those are the only, I believe, the only stoppages in play we've had here in the first half. So a very quick half. Here's Rayleigh Ross on the outside. That ball rims out before being corralled by Herbert Graham. Julius Brooks with a big rebound. Puts it back and good. He calls for the N1. Looked pretty clean to me, but a good play by Julius Brooks. The Blues storming back here. And now taking the lead. And now want to build on that lead. Rayleigh Ross kept his dribble alive for just a moment, then wasn't able to do it, so gives it up. And now we got a timeout on the floor. So like I said earlier, you're watching the 2016 Immaculate Training Pro Exposure Camp, International Pro Exposure Camp here on Netcast Sports. You can watch these and all on demand on netcastsports.com. I am Marcus Shockley. You can follow me on Twitter if you're so inclined to M_Shockley. And you can follow Netcast Sports at Netcast Sports, which is pretty easy. And we often make announcements about games coming up, and that sort of thing. Halftime is going to be run about 2 minutes, and then we'll go right into the second half after the short break. So we got about just under 3 minutes here left in this half. Quick break, and then we'll be coming right back. So you get a chance to see all the players quite a bit more. We're about to get underway once again here. Shot came off a little flat. It's going the other way now. 2.5 left to play here in the first. I wouldn't say that either team would feel as though they established control of the game. I would say that a late surge here by Blue, also known as Estonia for today's action. As White finally gets a bucket after a bit of a drought. I think that they feel like they've controlled the second part of the first half here. And now hold on to a 5-point lead with about 2 minutes left to go here in the first. And that's going to be an and one, I think. And that's a killer and one because, see, they automatically give you those points. And that puts Blue up by 8 now. And that's going to help as White needed that bucket from Jaylen Brown, the 6'9" forward. Here's Brooks. Brooks is calling for a play. Another guard driving and just powering that in. We saw that earlier from Rayleigh Ross. That time it was Timothy Hagee. Lamont Johnson back in the game. He's trying to power inside, wasn't able to do so. Picked up by Randall. Now here's Jaylen Brown on the outside and another 3 ball. And just like that, White cutting back into that lead, cuts it quickly to 4. Under a minute to play here in the first. three balls are flying fast and furious here in the last minute. That one looked like his foot might have been on the line if that had gone. Under 20 seconds. As I said, right after the break, right after this buzzer here in a few seconds, we'll have a quick break and then we'll be back. All right, we're getting ready to get underway here in the second half of the 2016 Immaculate Training Pro Exposure Camp. And right now, 27-34 in favor of the blue team, aka Team Estonia, over white, also known as Team China for today's action. And I believe white is going to inbound the ball to start the second half. I believe that is the plan. We shall see momentarily. Michael Moore now with the ball, looking to feed it inside to Brooks. Brooks had to come outside to get it. And then Brooks lost the handle here, picked up by Amon Johnson. Johnson with a one-on-one break against Rayleigh Ross, and he scores. And White comes storming out of the half and cuts that lead to 2 after trailing by 7. And just like that, they've pulled right back into this one. Another turnover. White with another shot here. Could tie or take the lead. Lamont Johnson there thought about a shot for a second. Julius Brooks had a mid-range and decided to keep it and go right at the bucket. That pays off, puts his team back up by 4. So they stave off the quick early rush there by White. Deep from the outside corner. No good. It's a 2. We're adjusting the score as we're seeing the score adjust in here. So trying not to be too critical of our on-screen score. Brooks driving, spinning. Turns back over his shoulder, no good. Ball knocked out. Good keep alive rebound there. Ultimately ends up over here in the hands of Corey Rayleigh Ross right in front of us. Drive and another score. Rayleigh Ross again just willing that ball into the bucket after getting in traffic inside there. Surprised there wasn't a foul call on that one, but he got the bucket anyway. And now Blue with a 10-point lead. And another wide open run out. And they're not, only by luck was White able to dodge a bullet on that one. 2 point blank shots for Team Blue, and they weren't able to convert. And we've got some changes on the floor as Jalen Brown enters for White. So Blue wasn't able to capitalize on that opportunity, but they still lead by 10. Just over 14 minutes left to go in this second half. A couple of probably desperation shots at this point. White really could use his buckets right there. 2 points from DeAndre Pratt. White looking to cut that lead back down. They had it down to 2 early in this half, and then now, trailed by 10 and now 8. But still a lot of time left here. 13 left to go. You can see Coach Solomon calling out plays. Nice finish on the inside, and Blue continuing to do work, pushes that lead back out to 10. Oh, things got heated in a hurry there. Blues gotten kind of comfortable here in the second half. Now up by 12. Really look more consistent with their pacing. And here we've got, I believe, the first stoppage of the clock here in the second half. That's going to send DeAndre Pratt to the line. Pratt unable to convert there. Tough defense on the inside, but he's able to get it up and put it back. Now Blue with a 14-point lead. Things starting to get out of hand for the White. Some good transition play there. Ultimately lands in the hands of Julius Brooks. Michael Moore started that break. Defensive spacing is also a little better for Blue. Oh, but that right there, defensive lapse, a foul, and it's going to be the and one. Adjustment to the score here, so we're going to get updated as quickly as we can. So Whites, they did come back right away into the beginning of the second half, but that's quickly evaporated, and now they're really looking for some answers, both defensively and offensively, as another basket drops as those guards are able to get right to the rim. Here's Iman Johnson. He's been quiet in the second half. Played well in the first half. Blocked on the inside. He almost had his own rebound. And that's going to help a little bit. And now they've really got to start thinking, with about 9 minutes left to go, they've really got to figure out how to make something work defensively. And that is not helping. Another basket. Blue continuing to pile on here. Three ball, big, by Corey Randall. Coach Solomon telling everybody, just run an offense here. We've got the lead by 13. Let's execute. Let's get a good shot. They want to go inside to Brooks. Brooks posting up against this man, kicks it out. He's actually matched up size for size in there against Jalen Brown. Oh, and that's going to be a blocking foul. So once again, DeAndre Pratt to the line. We'll see if his results are a little better this time. Shooting 1 for 2. So that time it pays off for him. Quick hands inside by Iman Johnson, and then grabbed by Jalen Brown. Breakaway, he gets in trouble. Ball knocked away. Blue recovers, gives it up to Julius Brooks, and that's the nice two-hand reverse slam from the 6'9" forward, Julius Brooks. Brooks again driving, that time not able to finish. Too far, the lead pass. And DeAndre Pratt unable to run that one down. Just too far. It's like throwing the ball to the sideline for a receiver, a speed receiver for a quarterback in football. You just throw it as far as you can to the outside and hope it stays close enough inbound. That time didn't work out. And we've got an offensive foul inside on Brooks. Tough defensive work by Jalen Brown. We're going to wick up some moisture from the floor here. Randall's shot misses everything, so everybody just boxes out and lets that one go. And Blue really has an advantage here at this point in the game. They're able to just run an offense and try to be as deliberate as possible. Rayleigh Ross got caught in the air for a moment there. Bailout pass to Julius Brooks, but Brooks wasn't able to finish inside. Damon Johnson just doing work inside. Gets his own rebound, puts it back up and in, cuts that lead to 11. The time is working against Team White here. Nicholas Crawford running the point, behind his back, goes back over the top, ball knocked out of bounds. Inside to Brooks. Brooks gives it up to Rayleigh Ross, ball blocked out, and it's going to stay with Blue. Shot's becoming very difficult, being very difficult for White right now, but they do cut the lead to 9. Still a long way to go, but a 3-possession game here. 4.5 left to play. So they're slowly chipping at that big lead. A defensive stop here would go a long way. They could get a defensive stop and a bucket. Rayleigh Ross probing the defense inside, and they're not able to get the stop on that one. As Blue continuing to execute more often than not here in this second half. Damon Johnson with a big-time jam. Cuts it back to 9. And we've got a timeout on the floor. So once again, you're watching the 2016 Immaculate Training Pro Exposure Camp International Pro Exposure Camp here from Charlotte, North Carolina at Hickory Ridge High School on Netcast Sports. You can watch this on demand on netcastsports.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at Netcast Sports. And the reason you should do that is because we often announce games and game changes and anything else updates at the last minute over our Twitter feed, if possible. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming up as well. The IWFL, the Triad Pro-Am, and several other good things. The CP3 Rising Stars will probably be involved in that as well in August, and some pro camps. So definitely check out netcastsports.com. I am Marcus Shockley with NCSN, and you can check me out on Twitter at M_Shockley. And we've got about just a little over 3 minutes left in this one right now. Team Blue up by 9, 61-52. Team Blue, also known as Estonia for today if you have a roster sheet, and Team White, also known as China on your roster sheets. So you can check out the rosters. We'll also post the rosters on the on-demand page in the description, but if you're watching this from the event, of course you have a roster sheet. You can check out all the players at your leisure. Feed inside, double team. Really loose play in there. White finally coming up with it. Randall up and no good. Not able to take advantage of that transition opportunity, and that's unfortunate for them. But Blue in the driver's seat now as we're nearing 2.5 left to play, and they still have that 3-possession lead. Scramble for the ball, and Mon Johnson just threw it over his head. No look, and it does work. And he got it up to a teammate. So he got the steal and just two-handed throw over the top of his head, and somehow threaded the needle between two other players and got it to his man, Herbert Graham, who's now at the line shooting 1 for 2. And that'll help a little bit more. Now down by 7. Is there enough time for White to come back in this one? This is a critical defensive stop right here, if they can pull it off. Blue would have liked to have that 3-pointer. Here we are, White in transition, no good. And big time putback jam by Herbert Graham. And just like that, White now cutting it to 6, or cutting it to 5 rather. 2-possession game. Under 2 minutes left to go. Blue looking to execute. That's a tough basket right there. Big time basket. Double team. Good spot for the double team. Kicks it out. Looking not a whole lot of open looks right now. Good defensive possession there by Blue. Sagged a little bit off the shooter, but just enough to bother him. Just about a minute left to go here, barring any stoppage in play. It looks like Blue's going to wrap this one up. So, as I said, you can watch this on demand on netcastsports.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll let this one just wind down here in the next few minutes, barring some sort of unforeseen event. We do have a stoppage in play. So they're going to send him to the line. I believe that's Timothy Hagee going to the line. No, I'm sorry, I'm incorrect about that. Nicholas Crawford. This is really coming down to the wire. White desperately wanting this one. And that foul is fortunate for White. They're able to stop the clock. Only down by 4. I thought we were all done and dusted there, but not quite yet. And Nicholas Crawford going back to the line. If he hits this one, this is a big shot here. One shot. This is where the 1 for 2 really comes into play. A rare opportunity to let the ball bounce. Big time steal there by Blue. Here's Corey Rayleigh Ross. Gives it up. Crawford drives. Ooh, big block. As Jalen Brown got all the way back. That was a huge block. And now here's a shot for three. And that's good. Time is running out. They've asked that the clock be stopped. I believe they fouled. It looks like 4.8 on the clock. So they're hoping Crawford will miss here, grab the rebound, get down and get up a shot, all in 4.8 seconds to tie the game. But if he hits this, that's probably going to do it. And that's going to do it. And we'll see you for the next game.